Hey there, people. I am at my sister's house today. She just bought this house in December. It's her first house. She's a bank executive. And I've been doing work here on and off for extra cash. I replaced the laundry tubs in the basement, and I installed new dryer ducting in the basement because the old dryer ducting was old and falling apart. And now she's got me working on the garage, which I was supposed to do all summer, but I couldn't because it was so hot. It was cool because she understood why I couldn't work on it. Anyways, I was originally supposed to replace all the questionable boards on the garage and scrape and paint the garage, but in springtime she had second thoughts of totally fixing up this garage because it really isn't worth it. I mean, the slab is cracked, there's rotted places, rotted wood on the garage, there's wood that's dry rotted and cracking, and yeah, I don't blame her. Actually, I've seen barns that were in better condition than this garage. Yeah, and she just wanted me to doctor up the garage just enough so it would last another 5 years or less, or maybe 3 years, because she's going to have this garage torn down eventually and a new one built. There was a lot of loose boards on the bottom which I attached with screws. A lot of boards that were pulling off and falling off, so yeah. And I also had to replace a few boards too. A few pieces of siding. I went to the lumber yard and I got wide cedar siding, and I ripped it to width on the table saw to match the original siding. And this corner, I had to totally rebuild this corner because this fascia board just totally blew off because the joists behind it that were supposed to hold it on were rotted. So I had to cut all the rotted joists off, all the ends, and I had to create a 2x4 system so I could rebox this area in. And I cut some treated pine on the table saw. I ripped it to width along with the soffit pieces. And and as you see here, I reused one of the old boards that I tore off. I cut off the rotted pieces and I kept a good piece. And here's another piece of treated which I ripped on the table saw, and here's a pine piece, a regular pine piece that I had in the basement at my house. Yeah, she doesn't want to totally put a lot of work into this garage, which I don't blame her. I have to go to the lumber yard again and get another 12-foot piece of cedar siding to rip because there was a couple pieces that I forgot about. Yeah, I'm just going to paint over those pieces to match the garage, and she's not going to totally want to paint the garage, which I don't blame her. She doesn't want to put a lot of work. She doesn't want to put a lot of work into this thing. And of course, I got to look at that corner. That corner probably isn't bad compared to that corner, or compared to that corner was. And here's another piece that I got to replace too, which I didn't catch. Yeah, I got to go to the lumber yard tonight and get another 12-foot piece of cedar. And here's another cedar piece. There was no piece of siding here, and I had to make a new piece. I don't know if the old piece just blew off over time or whatnot, but yeah, I just ripped it to width on the table saw to match the original siding, and I attached it with some screws. I'm just gonna paint the pieces to match the garage. I'm not gonna paint the whole garage, thank God. Actually, I was kind of wishing that I could have gotten out of scraping and painting the garage, because scraping this thing, it would have took me all summer practically. Scraping this thing by myself, it's a lot of work. Yeah, and thank God she's not going to put a lot of money into this garage. She's going to go with a 2-car. This is a 1.5-car garage. And another thing too, this door is just like falling apart. The previous owner tried fixing it. It's a decent job, but not a really good job. But yeah, the slab is cracked. The slab, the cracked part, is sloping towards this wall here. Here's her bike, my ladder, my tools, my table saw, my $20 Craftsman table saw. I'm looking for a portable table saw, a used one, but most of the ones I find for really cheap are missing parts, like the miter gauge. It would be nice to find one that's complete. I don't care about the blade guard, but it's got to have the rip fence and the miter gauge. And yeah, I just swept up this garage, and now it's time to take the scooter and drive home. And that concludes this video. Bye.